Desmond is a theist. And the note here says you want to make the case. You want to make the case for the existence of God.
I personally believe there are two gods, and there is a God. Something creates something. Let's understand that your mother and your father created you, right or wrong?
I wouldn't say created, but
Hello.
sure, let's roll with it. Yeah.
Okay,
I
they
wouldn't say
made you.
created, but
They made you.
let's.
Okay. Well,
I
I'll
wouldn't
say
even say
made.
made,
You.
but let's go ahead and go with it.
Okay, we'll run with that.
Okay.
I'm saying that the devil was created by a God. And the God that created the devil said, hey, you have to, in my mind, this is the way I see it. If I have a child, there is no way that I will wish harm on my child. No, I will push my child away from me and tell my child to get the heck away from me. So if my child is doing dirty and wrong, that's fine. If he got friends and family that want to hang out with him and do what he do, that's fine. But at the same time, you welcome here. You still welcome here. The thing
Desmond, I'm
it,
confused. Before we get too far, Desmond, I'm confused. You said there was two gods. Are you saying that Satan and a creator? So far, you've talked about two people: the creator God and Satan. Are those the two gods that we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so Satan is a god in your theology?
Yes. Satan is a god. The average person cannot touch Satan. Even in the Bible,
Desmond, before you get too far, Desmond, before you get too deep into it, so you're saying that God is a god. I'm assuming you're talking about the Christian God, or is it just a general God?
It's a general God. We can go Christian.
Okay. So
we can go general. I'm just going by the book. I'm going by the books that most people have read.
All right. So we have a general God who you refer to as God, and we have the devil who you also call God. The devil was created by God. Okay. So what God created God?
It could be vice versa. It could be vice versa. It does not matter, but it's two of them.
So one of them created the other. One of them created the other.
Mm-hmm.
What created the original? Because you said that something creates something. Your God is something. And you have an example of a God which was created. So what created that first God?
Okay. Watch this. You ain't going to like what I'm about to tell you. The lonely God. The lonely God. I don't know which one was lonely, but the lonely God created everything. He was lonely. It's just like your child being.
What created him, though?
Exactly. It goes. Like I said, it's just like, don't you have a papa?
We already established, yes, I do. So who's God's papa?
Okay. So I don't know. That was never written. It was never written. Everything is not written. What I'm telling you, who is the devil's papa?
Written where?
We don't
talking about the Bible here?
Huh?
Written where? Are we talking about the Bible or some other holy text or something else?
No, we just having a conversation. You cannot anybody.
You said it was written, so I assumed you had some type of reference to a written work you were talking about.
Well, I don't know what God's son written in his book, which I mean Lucifer. He might have a book. I never read it, so I cannot speak against it. I cannot speak against Lucifer because Lucifer is stronger than me.
But Desmond, you wanted to give us evidence for God, right? And you're talking now about books. But you started off better. You started off saying that things have to have things, because obviously we're not just going to take books at face value, right?
Exactly.
So
I'm not trying to.
Right. So let's just ignore all the books, okay? For the rest of the conversation, let's just ignore books because we all agree that that's just nothing important. You said that something had to be created, but you're not telling us who created the lonely God.
What do you mean by the lonely God?
Well, you're the one who posited a lonely God and a second God.
Okay. I'm going to speak upon you, and you think about this. You think about this now. If you go out and plant a tree, it's just a seed. You haven't seen it. Nobody has seen that except you. And then all of a sudden a tree grows. But after a while, I don't care how many years it takes, that tree gonna die. So when that tree comes back to the earth, everything that lives dies. The earth is going to die. The sun is going to die. We know this. Like, if you really don't understand that that's going to happen, then you don't. So where do we go?
So
I'm
Desmond,
cool with blackness. I'm cool with darkness. I'm
Desmond,
cool with darkness. But
all right, Desmond. We asked for Desmond. We asked at the beginning of the show. We also asked you for evidence, and so far we're getting this, in my opinion, conflicted story of one God created another God, but we don't have evidence of the original God being created.
We're not
we
talking about you said we can't talk about that no more. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about what I'm saying is
Desmond,
everything.
Hold on, Desmond. Hold on. I'm going to mute you. Desmond, you're doing a lot of hand waving here. And when we ask you for evidence or for good reasoning, you're just hand waving to a tree and going, you can plant a tree, it's small as a seed, it'll grow and die, and everything grows and dies. And that doesn't do anything to address our question here. So let me ask you this again. Do you have something that you're referencing? Do you have something you can show us that isn't just look at this over here, literally look at the trees? Do you have anything that you can give us that has like some substance to it?
Mad or not, if you plant a tree and that tree don't grow the way you want it to, and you give it water,
Desmond,
and you
pretend we're super dumb, Desmond, and we don't understand what the connection to the tree is. Please explain to us how the tree connects.
You planted it. You plant a tree. You plant a seed.
Yes. So are you suggesting that I also created the universe, Desmond?
No, but the tree that you planted will and may potentially grow other trees, sir.
What? But this means nothing about. We're asking who created the lonely God, and you're talking about trees. Either change your evidence.
You told me to leave the book out of it. I'm not talking about the book. What I'm saying is, I don't know if it was Lucifer or if it was. I'm not in the book now.
Okay. So, someone created the lonely God, Desmond. Desmond, you're saying you don't. You're saying you don't know.
And bad. I don't know which one.
Yeah, Desmond. That's fine.
Okay.
You're telling me that the lonely God is also a created being, even though you don't know by whom.
If you have a seed,
No, Desmond. Desmond, we're talking about the lonely. We're talking about the lonely God.
The lonely
God.
Are we talking
is
about
the lonely God created?
It's not just the lonely God. You talking about the only God, and I'm telling you, it's more than one.
No, but that's fine. Is every God in existence a created being?
No.
Okay.
But they're stronger than the average human being.
So you're saying there's one that is. You're saying that there's one that is not a created being?
Everything has to be created from something. That's why I was hitting you with the tree. That's why
okay, so what's the difference between every God needing to be created and just the universe being created? Are they identical?
You got a lot of things that go into consideration about that, because a lot of gods want to be the only God, even though they know they're not the only God, but they know they're stronger than the average.
I'm going to let Eric try now.
Yeah. All right, Desmond. All right, Desmond, I'm going to mute you here really quick. So, hey, listen, we are not getting anything of substance here, but I want you to think about this. We're asking you for good reasons to believe what you're telling us. You're giving us, I already went all over it. You're giving us a bunch of claims. When we ask a yes or no question, you don't give us a yes or a no. You hand wave to something else. and we're asking you for something of substance. So Desmond, from my point of view, try to put yourself in my shoes, put yourself in Paul's shoes. From our point of view, how do we determine the difference between you and somebody just making things up, or somebody that's just hallucinating, or somebody who's just had a bad drug trip? Is there anything you can give us that differentiates you from those other people and compels us to, oh, he dropped. I don't know if he was taking that as an insult, but Desmond, these rantings are indistinguishable to us from those other people. And I'm not saying you were hallucinating, you're on drugs or anything like that. I was saying was, from our point of view, it's indistinguishable. It's the same type of things you would hear out of those people is what we're hearing out of you. And that's how ineffective you just were at explaining your position. And we were really trying to get you to tell us something we could sink our teeth into and talk about, but Desmond backed off, so it's fine. All right, so that, like all things that must grow and things must die, and that call just went the same way. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on. So we have, Desmond's calling back in. So hey, Tim, I was going to bring you back in, but Desmond's back. We'll give him maybe about 5 minutes, and then we'll head to you. So let's go ahead and bring Desmond back in. Hey, Desmond, did you hear what we were saying after you disconnected, it seems?
Yes, sir. I'm listening to y'all. Now, I really like the show. It reminds me of Art Bell. I don't know if you ever heard of Art Bell.
I have a whole podcast.
Take it away, Paul.
I have a whole podcast dedicated to Art Bell, so I love him. Yes.
Yeah.
All good.
I love Art Bell. And so I'm not
here's the difference,
really trying
Desmond.
to call on nothing crazy. Go ahead.
Here's the difference between us and Art Bell, Desmond. And Art Bell would entertain and, for the most part, uncritically entertain these incoming ideas, all kinds of stuff. And Paul with his friend Dave, right? Yeah, Dave.
Yeah.
They have a live stream every 2 weeks where they talk about old Art Bell stuff and how Art Bell just uncritically consumed and distributed a lot of nonsense. And we don't do that here. When we hear an idea like
nonsense. It might have been nonsense.
I think you need to listen to Art Bell if you don't call it nonsense.
It was some things that it would make you think, even though you would feel like, oh, that's just crazy. But
right. But the point of that show, what Eric's trying to say is the point of that show was not to get to the truth. The point of that show was, as you said, to entertain and to basically entertain interesting conversations, whether they be true or not. That the point of that show wasn't to determine truth, but we on this show aspire to get to truth, and that's why we were pressing you the way we were.
Get to the truth.
So, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that anybody is wrong. Like, I wanted to talk about, and I will call back another day, another time, about the world being flat. Like, that's ridiculous. To me, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Because if every planet rotates, now a lot of moons don't.
Desmond, we're with you. You don't need to. You don't need to explain right now why it's ridiculous. We're with you. Did you have anything extra to say?
Right. So, like I said, but okay, we're gonna go back to life as being God and the devil. I feel like there is both.
Okay,
and a lot of people probably,
we understand this is how you feel. Desmond, we understand this is how you feel. We care about what you can show us. Is there anything you can show us to back up what you're saying?
Okay. You said leave the book out. I cannot talk about the book. Do you
bring the book back in? It's fine. You have my blessing to bring the book back in. What book is it? Let's start with there.
Okay. Well, the book is saying this. I have a child.
Book? I need to know what book first.
God. Wait. Matter of fact, I'm finna be through. I'm gonna get off. God say everybody is his child. I would not want to put my child in a lake of fire.
Are we talking about the Bible? Just give me something here, Desmond. What book are we talking about? Is it the Bible? Yes or no? Bible?
We're we're talking about you. Would you throw your child in a
Oh my God, Desmond! Okay, I'm going to give you one more chance because this is a peeve of mine. If you don't answer a very simple question, you need it. Yes or no,
okay.
Bible.
I'm talking about the book.
Yes or no, Bible.
I'm talking about the book of Bible.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now, what in the Bible convinces you that the God exists? Just give me your best one, not a whole list. Just give me your best reason why the Bible has convinced you that this God exists.
You have to understand. See, it's a little bit more. I have to take a long conversation with you, but I'm gonna say it like this. Only thing I can say is, if the Bible say that God created Jesus. Now, a lot of people say Jesus and God is the same. See, it's a long conversation, but I'm going to say this right here. To all, even the people in the Bible, y'all say this, that, and the other, and he going to throw you in a lake of fire. Why would I do that to my child? I'm a creator child. I'm your
Desmond,
child, and I'm going to throw you in a lake of fire.
What if I were to tell you, Desmond, what if I were to tell you that I don't believe what the Bible says is true? How would you respond to that? I don't believe the Bible is true.
Well, I won't say the Bible is totally not true. I believe there's a part in the Bible.
Let's pick something concrete. Let's pick something concrete. Genesis 1:1 says, "In the beginning, God created." I don't believe that to be true.
Well,
how can you show me that that's true?
I cannot dispute it. I cannot rebuke that. I cannot dispute that. If that's how you feel. Now, me personally, I love science, and I truly feel like something starts from somewhere. Now, for you to say it didn't happen, you got to show me where it didn't happen.
No, I didn't say that. So, Desmond, you got to listen to me very carefully here, okay? You're saying that God created things. You're making a positive claim. I'm saying I don't believe that. I also don't believe Genesis 1:1. I'm not sitting here and saying that they're both definitely false, and I'm making the opposite claim. I'm just rejecting yours because I don't see enough evidence. Can you present evidence to sway me to that position?
I'm riding with you. I am riding with you. I cannot persuade you to believe you saying the same thing I'm saying, but what I'm trying to say
so you're admitting to me, Desmond. Desmond, you're admitting to me here. I'm sorry, Desmond, I gotta mute you here, okay? You're admitting to me here then that you cannot persuade me to your position, which tells me a lot of different things. It tells me you don't have an argument, you don't have evidence, you just want to talk about it. And we've talked about this many times with other people. We want to be convinced. We want to be shown things that we can analyze and test. And if you can't give us any of that, and it's just, I feel this, I feel that, my book says this, my book says that, then we're not going to have a lot to talk about here, and we should just probably move on. So is there anything you can give us that's more concrete?
Now, you talking, damn, you hung up on me.
I didn't hang up on you. You're here.
No, you're still here.
We're here.
I'm here. Listen, me and you almost on the same page. But see, you're looking at it as, if you prove it, I understand it. But right now, I don't understand it because you can't prove it. So we going back and forth on it. You want it to be proven, and I'm saying you just want to believe what you want to believe. I'm saying I leave my mind open a little bit.
But Desmond, there's already a fundamental misunderstanding here, because now you're assigning motivations to us that our minds are closed and we want to believe what we want to believe. I want to believe whatever the truth is. And if it is true that a God exists and that God created the universe, I want to believe that, but I can't just believe it. I need to be compelled to believe with good evidence and good argumentation. And so far, I haven't seen any here.
I understand that. All right. Okay.
So, all right. So Desmond, we've gone back and forth.
Hey, I promise you. I'm gonna get off. So when you go to sleep at night, you go to sleep on the thought of you wake yourself up every day, and you know when you gonna pass away, and you know. I mean, come on now. I'm not trying to convince you to believe in God, because I told you it's two gods. One is God of God, and the one created the other. I don't know who created who. And to me, it doesn't matter. but I believe we were all created from something. Now, I haven't got there yet.
Bring it home, Desmond.
I haven't got there yet. And
all right.
I'm saying,
all right, Desmond, Desmond, we're going to go ahead and stop.
Your mom and your dad created you. If you leave right now and they never see you again, does that mean that you didn't exist?
Okay, goodbye, Desmond. You have a good evening. We really hope you have a good evening. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
The Art Bell show was the Art Bell show was 4 or 5 hours, 7 days a week. So we don't have that kind of time to chit chat. Yeah.
Anyway, Desmond, I hope you've listened to that again and maybe hopefully better understand what my asks were, what I was asking to get out of you. Because like I said, ask you a question and I get hand waving, like, look over here and let's talk about these other things instead of addressing the question. That's not going to convince us, especially when it comes to claims about the supernatural, about the metaphysical, and whatever else the claims are. And in fact, just look at I don't want to beat up Desmond now he's not here anymore, but just look at your way you evaded the question about what book we're talking about. Like, why was it such a hard thing to do to say, yeah, I'm talking about the Bible? Like, why was that such an issue? I know we said, let's throw out books at the beginning, but even after we said, okay, let's bring books back in, you still don't want to answer the question. Those things tell us things about you. And they might be assumptions, or we might see, okay, we don't think Desmond has a foot to stand on, or maybe his motivations are different. Like, all kinds of possibilities swirl in our minds. And the best way for you to cut through that is simply answer the questions that we're giving you. And we weren't getting that. So Desmond, call back again some other day. Try again with that. Think about this, okay, Desmond? Look at it from my point of view. Take you and your claims, Desmond. Imagine somebody is giving you those claims. Like, let's say you're talking to a stranger on the street, and that stranger is telling you exactly what you just told us, except instead of the God of the Bible, they're talking about the God of the Quran. And then see how receptive you are to that reason and how receptive you are to that, generously speaking, calling it logic. See how receptive you are to those things. And then maybe you might understand what we just felt. Go ahead, Paul.
Desmond was self-aware enough to actually say, I don't think I convince you of any. I can't convince you of anything. So if that's you and you're calling in, this is probably not the show for you. This is the show where we want you to try to convince us. So if you just want to lay things out but not convince us, different show. Find a different
show. Yeah. And honestly, Desmond, we can be convinced of anything if you bring argumentation and evidence. Anything. But you need to support it.